Okay, it says I'm live. Please tell me when you see me live. Throw me a Y down here and I'll know. But I'm taking their word for it that I am live. Not freaking out, not leaving, not doing anything like that. In fact, I should get a count on this as to how long it takes till people pop up here. Ooh, okay, this is pushing 30 seconds. There it is. 30 seconds is the delay. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm happy that you guys made it. Alaska Blue, Shannon, thanks for being here. Okay, so this week, well, you know what? Give it a quick minute. Just a very quick moment. I mean, before I go into anything, because people will show up and then say I missed everything. I mean, you understand. In fact, let me go over my day. I woke up shortly thereafter I took both out. I let the chickens out of the chicken house too then, and then I drank my coffee. Mark Ray, Carol, Mama Bear, glad you're here. Okay, 10 people. All right, you know what? That's how I'll get started right there. Now, I did look into the Tennessee case, the Tennessee murder of Suzanne Collins. And this is what I found out. Now, this is according to the way I remember it, so keep that in mind. I'm trying to quote the facts to the best of my ability, but I'll just render it to you the way that I remember reading it. Suzanne Collins was jogging around the area around was an NSA military base down there by Millington, Tennessee. Now, during that time, she was abducted and taken to, oh man, okay, you know what? I'm just going to say I don't remember the park's name, but it says it's about 2.5 to 3 miles outside of the base perimeter right there. She was taken to there and raped and beaten. The autopsy confirmed that it was head trauma that killed her, and it wasn't the stick up the VAG. You see, with that penetrated her lungs. She was already dead at that time. Now, two others, and I think that they were Marines, heard her screaming and went to that area. But when they got there, and I think that this is what's weird about this, is because they too were jogging, I believe. And again, don't totally quote me. So when they get there, they seen this car hauling ass away from it, and they remembered the car and went back and told the base commander as to the car that they had seen leaving that area. Well, from the description that they gave of the car, they brought a guy in that was in a car like that with his wife, which was Smedley Alley. Now, they was questioned about being there. Now, I want to remind everybody that at this time, nobody was found. It was only the act of a woman screaming, and when they got there, this car was hustling away really quick. So when Smedley Butler and Smedley Alley got there, and his wife, they said that they was busy doing other things. His wife was at a Tupperware party and so forth. Now, they were released. And I forget the reason. I think that one of the people that had seen the car said, no, it sounded exactly like that car as much as it looked like it. Now, the next day when the sheriff deputies found the body, that's when they went to his house. Now, he was married to a woman who was in the military. Smedley Alley was not in the military. So that's when they went to his house and arrested him. Now, he confessed after so many hours of questioning. Now, later on, he said he was coerced into a confession. But what I want to say is this. If somebody died by that manner, it would not matter what that they had asked me. It would not make a shit if they would stand there with a gun saying, we're going to kill you if you don't confess. We'll kill you right here and now. I'd say, get me a fucking lawyer. Because I never would have said, yeah, that's it, man. My life's over. I'm going to confess that I did it. Now, that's kind of a variable because I don't see why that would be done. I mean, and this was his story. He accidentally hit her, okay, while she was jogging. He had a tool, a screwdriver, he said, in his hand, something about the car. And when he was helping her, she fell on it. And I mean, even that story was very made up because, law enforcement said, yeah, the woman wasn't hit by a car. None of this happened because she was hit by a car, nor were there any screwdriver wounds on her. So I did find that to be quite fishy. But then again, if a guy was drinking, and he said that he was, his wife was at a cocktail party, and he said he was really pissed off about it. And I don't know why that would have provoked an incident like that. But hey, let's say he's one of those people. And in a way, I mean, I'm kind of drawing the same lines to Thomas Bruce concerning the other murders, that he was drinking. But then the guy turns around, I mean, after confessing, and says, well, I had been drinking, so I don't really remember the murder part of it. Well, let me tell you from an alcoholic's point of view. And I'm not suggesting that Smedley Alley was an alcoholic, but he was certainly a man who said that he got pretty drunk that night. Well, I have been drunk many, 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 many times. And there are some things that I don't remember, okay? But I'd never blacked out for any length of time like that. And there would certainly always be in my mind the next day when I woke up, oh my God, I would know what I did because I was conscious enough to commit that crime, knowing that it was a crime and hauling ass, away. So why wouldn't I remember the crime? Why wouldn't I remember doing that? Why would I be so drunk that I couldn't remember it? But I was certainly coherent enough to take a limb and then jam it up her, all the way to her lungs. Do you see where I'm at? So that is kind of the way that I'm looking at it. It kind of looks like, yeah, that guy may have did it. And it could very well be, as I suspect, that at that time or coming back right around that time, that Thomas Bruce was down in that area at NSC base. But anyway, that is the facts of the way that I got that crime. Now, and I should have did this beforehand, but please give me one quick second while I pull the guy's picture up. Only take a moment. All right, and share a screen. Pardon one moment while I share screen. Yeah. Okay. Now, I hope that you guys can see this. I hope that this is showing here. But this right here is Smedley Alley. Now, that's probably what he looked like back then, I would imagine, because he's got glasses and a beard. But the guy's face wasn't seen that evening. Nobody seen him as, his face, had a sketch, anything like that. Really, at first, it came down to just his car and his car looking like the car that they seen pull out there and sounding the same. Now, this is a picture of him back then with his daughter, who is pushing for the investigation into it being Thomas Bruce. Now, according to her, and she had said, hold tight a second here. Okay, you can see it just fine. I'm to the left there. Let me do it like so. Okay, so that is him. Now, this right here, if you can see the picture, this is Suzanne Collins. Now, she's the woman that was raped and brutalized and murdered. So now, if we go back up here, and I'm going to put in Thomas Bruce for the more recent picture, if they have it. What in the world, man? Okay, they got to have that newer picture of him here. I like. Okay, yeah, that was mine. It's nice to make Google. All right. Well, what was the most recent picture? Let me put cord in. Okay, there was the picture that Greeno had up the other day. Hey, there's Randy. Looks like he's yawning. Where in the hell is it? All right, I'm going St. Louis court, man. Give me what I need. Well, if you don't mind, please. Bear. Thank you. Okay, I cannot find that photo, but it's aside of the point. But I did want to draw a comparison between it and the Delphi suspect for a sketch. Let me put, was it October? Okay, you know what? I'm going to have to ask him where he got that sketch. I know it's on here, but for the time being, though, there is the sketch part to it. So, hey, C. Dorton, glad you're here. So, anywho, though, that is kind of my thoughts on it. It looks like Smedley Alley probably did it. But I say probably because there would have been no way, man, no way that somebody just would have confessed to a murder like that. It wouldn't matter. I mean, if it was you and you was under the gun and they're saying, hey, look, man, we're going, whatever if you don't. It is as easy as saying, I need to talk to a lawyer. That is it. They'll leave. They'll leave that room. Bye. Because they can't talk to you any further. They could interrogate all night and day, and if you ask for a lawyer, they'll get you a lawyer. They will still maintain speaking, though, but they're going to make sure you have a lawyer present. So why would the guy confess? Why would he later say, well, I was coerced into it? Well, and another thing is this, man. His lawyers took his confession and were running with that because they was trying to get out of it on insanity. So they was running with the guilty plea that he had given. And anyway, that much right there doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But that's me. Well, my dog, man. All right. So now, and again, I had read through that rather quickly because there was very little to go on. Now, I did find out that Smedley Alley's daughter had filed or started all this with the Innocence Project back at the 1st of May, the very 1st of May of this year. So, that's going back because it's just now making more of the headline news. But anyway, going back that far. Now, she said that she was reached by an investigator on a different murder. Okay. Now, this is me. This is just me. If it was a person that was involved with Thomas Bruce, or in one of the other cases that I'm talking about, Evansdale or Delphi, of any that were covering at all Thomas Bruce within law enforcement, to reach the Innocence Project and this lady, suggesting to them that, hey, he was at that school at that time, well, that you don't want to be in those shoes, man. You don't want to point a finger that, where a man could be innocent at him if you're in one of those cases. You see where I'm at? So I'm believing that this person wasn't really in a case that Thomas Bruce wasn't involved in or possibly was. That it did this. I think that it was a different murder investigator that brought it to her attention that he was there. Probably after looking into him, the same as I. All right, man, 34 people. I feel good. I feel good, man. Yeah, and he's leaving. Well, it's fine. I still feel good. I feel all right. In fact, I was going to have a tie on. I thought, well, I'll just wear a tie. You know, black and a red tie, man. It looks nice, right? But then I was thinking, well, I mean, with a tie, it's a little too uppity. I'm just not overly uppity. I mean, I get along well with Bluff. He's a great dog. All right. You know what? There it is. Bam. Everyone hit like. And hit like, if you don't mind. Well, I like to do that because I don't mind the thumbs down. I really don't. It isn't like that. It ain't like I'm sitting here like hating the thumbs down, because thumbs down is a view. And it's really a great way to keep track of how many people I sent to the door. You know what I mean? Then that way, I mean, when she, you know, here you go, you must leave, they come back and give me a thumbs down, and I can keep proper good track of them. I like doing that. 17 up, 6 down. Ooh, sorry. No Kandusky. I ain't having that, man. Ain't no way. 37 people here with 17 thumbs up. That disappoints the living shit out of me, man. Man, to think of all the things that I could be doing. Looking at pictures of Jody Arias right now. That's always a good time. Is it in there? Oh, great. Okay, I'll keep going. I may now proceed. Ladies and gentlemen, since I have spent the last 16 minutes here rambling to you concerning, I'm going to bring in a certain someone here who can help us, because I know that he has the picture. I know that he has the handy. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the one and only, the best editor in the world, as far as I know, Anthony Greeno. Greeno, how you doing?
What's going on, dude? I'm doing.
Say something again.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, okay. You had a delay when you first got on.
Okay.
You were speaking, but your lips weren't moving, man. And I thought that is some good ventriloquism. Not only is he a great editor, but he can ventriloquate like nobody else. In fact, he was just doing the talking. So, man, what is going on, Mr. O?
Oh, not a whole lot. I seen that you was looking for some kind of picture. What was you looking for?
I wanted that new picture of Thomas Bruce because I wanted to compare it to the sketch.
Okay.
So I go to Google, I put in Thomas Bruce, St. Louis Court, blah, blah, blah. And it pulled up everything before.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, it's good because last time, and I think it was Faith, who said that it was blurry. She was a little upset with that, and I apologize. Yeah, that right there. And if you have the sketch handy as a comparison.
The new one or the old one?
No,
old one?
No, there is no new sketch, man. Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
You mean the dude who's not a person of interest anymore?
Do what?
The dude who's not a person of interest?
Yes, that's the one who is my suspect.
Hold on.
He is no longer, and I want you to hear those words, he is no longer a person of interest. That's because they're calling him a suspect and you don't know it. That's why. They said, yeah, we got his ass. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, man. Tonight it is. Oh man, what is that called? I think it's called Waffle House. I think it's Waffle House. That is the vape that I'm. Oh yeah, but we need the side by side. Oh man, yeah. I got you. Okay. Go ahead, man. Yeah. Bam. Pull it. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, men and women and puppies of all ages, I give to you the suspect in Delphi. Once again, for the 3,291st or 92nd time this year. So that is one reason. I mean, you'd have to take his beard off and, like that down to where he had it before. But that's our guy. The brown scruff on the sides, reddish brown, especially in sunlight. I wish I was looking into those eyes right now. I wish that I was. I wish I was. Because he'd be having a very bad day. Wow, that is a weird eye, dude. That is one messed up eye. Yeah, you might want to take the Thomas Bruce photo down a little bit. Just a touch, if you can. Can you slide it to the right? Oh, I see.
Yeah, hold on.
Shit, man, you could have got on paint and had it done already.
Yeah, you know what? I was sitting here thinking about, you know what? I could just pull it up in the editor and lay him on top of him, but it may be too much. There we go. That's probably as close as I can get it to him.
That's the guy, man. That's the dude. You know what? Thank you. Because you know what? I was thinking the identical, Barbara. That eye did kind of appear like they may have had him sedated. I don't know, Thorazine or the like, because, they won't let you have narcotics in jail. It's not that I haven't tried.
Yeah.
It's not like I hadn't done weekends and needed commissary.
I need to sleep, man.
Hey, dude, shut up. Here.
Yeah. Quit yelling, man. Steve.
Steve. Won't shut up. Hey, man, was you in there with me when that guy he was tattooing the other guy and John was standing right there in the window?
No.
Oh, okay. That must have been like before you got in there, but it was right in that time. But yeah, he's sitting there starting to, and John's sitting right there behind him going, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. You'll be coming with me, please.
Yeah. Pack it up.
Pack it. You're going to solitary. Which wasn't bad, man. I played a lot of chess in there, man. Read a lot of books in solitary. All right. So anyway, man, I did read up on the crime, the murder, with Smedley Alley.
Yep.
And did you look any further than Wikipedia on it?
A little, not too much.
Yeah, that's probably about where I am. He said he was coerced into his confession.
Right.
Now, you would know, the same as I would know, that if you are being questioned, you can just ask for a lawyer, game over.
Yeah.
Correct? And that's what I'm saying, because why would he sit there and questioning for that long and then go, yeah, okay, all right, you know what, you got me, I did it, I accidentally hit her, and then she fell on a screwdriver, which he had no wounds for, and then just start making shit up and say, well, I was drunk and I don't remember. Well, nobody would do that. I mean, if you see my point.
Yep.
Now, I'm certainly not saying that Thomas Bruce may not have did that. Although if he did, the Smedley Butler's got to be out of his effing mind to confess and then say he was coerced. I'm going to tell you right now, they didn't have a gun to his head saying, confess or we're going to kill you.
Right.
At least they've never did that to me, but I've never been involved with a crime like that.
Yeah.
That shit out. Although, one time, and this is going back, but I did damn near puncture a woman. Well, all right, you know what? I ain't going there. That'll get demonetized in a minute if I say that. I'm sorry. I rescind that comment. Edit. Video edit.
Yeah.
But she hurt for a while. I didn't want to leave that part out. Oh, thank you, Brian. Hang on. He's got pig bird flu. Isn't that man, what's that called?
I don't know.
They just had it a few years ago. Yeah, because it was a cross of mammal and avian virus. You know what? I'm going to look into it, but I remember it was like the E something or something E4 virus. Yeah, bird flu, but it's also with mammal, which is very rare that you would have the two.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, swine flu, bird flu. It'd be like a sword flu, if you see my point.
Sword flu. Sword blue.
H1N1. There it is. Thank you. Thank you very much. The H1N1. That might be that, the one I was talking about. It may have been one that was just a little variation of that. Half man, half pig, half bird flu. Yeah. Mad cow. So, anywho, you know, I want to keep this back to the original thing here. I have no way to verify that Thomas Bruce was at that area at that time. Now, I heard stated that he had came back for some ceremony that they were having, so on and so forth, but I have not verified that he was there at that time. However, I think if a homicide investigator reached the lady, he probably knows that he was there or staying in or around that area at that time. But again, I can't verify that, you know, not without law enforcement, you know, doing the digging.
Right. Well, isn't that what that guy said? That law enforcement in St. Louis reached him saying that he was there at the same time as her. That guy, Barry Sheck, the Innocence Project guy that was speaking during those interviews or whatever with the daughter of the of this alley guy, said that law enforcement in St. Louis contacted him saying that Bruce was there at the time and that he may be the person that they're looking for that was responsible for her murders.
Well, now, where is this guy from?
This Sheck guy?
Yes.
I'm assuming California, but he's like the Innocence Project thing.
All right. Because that's what I was saying earlier when a person had reached them. Because what I was getting at was a homicide investigator that was working anything that had to do with Thomas Bruce would not have reached them concerning that, not without DNA. Just because he would have been there at that time, that would not be a reason to point a finger at him without knowing something more than.
Right.
However, and I want to point this out, is that law enforcement would know or could find out the cause of death. Okay. Now, maybe, and I'm just saying not to be graphic, but there could be a lot more to Delphi in that manner. If you see what I mean, because that would be the only crime where they really could look at any kind of brutality, to my knowledge. I mean, there was no brutality like that in St. Louis, nor could they give evidence for Evansdale. No, you know, and the only one that could apply would be Delphi.
Well, that made me wonder there. You know what I mean? Like, okay, after reading the Wikipedia on this Collins girl, it's like, yeah, that was absolutely wild what happened to her. You know, and to say if they think that he may be responsible in some way, then what would make them say that? You know what I mean? Right. Unless they think that he did something off the wall crazy somewhere else like that, you know, which would point to the rumors that we've heard in Delphi, especially the rumor about the sticks, you know, like puncturing the bodies, because that's what was said in her case, you know, and that makes me really wonder if that holds any truth or not.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those, because now there's kind of a reason to, I mean, and I don't say look into that because we can't in Delphi. The best we can do is take somebody's word that was online that we don't even know is like real word.
Exactly.
And I don't do that. I'll do anything for love. I will. I will. Yeah. But not as much as that.
Yeah. Just like Meatloaf.
Oh man, you blew it, dude. I was trying to use this cover, man, and you stepped on me. Man, my thunder's gone now. Fuck it. Damn. So, carry on, because you was talking about the Innocence Project, and that is where I left off.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from what I gathered from watching the clips of that guy, he tries to exonerate people that have been proven guilty.
Executed?
Dead. Yeah. Well, that have been proven guilty, and that there's some reason that he needs to look into it to try to say that they didn't commit the crime that they were accused of or found guilty of or whatever. And then eventually, I don't know how he got into this case right here, but if St. Louis and law enforcement contacted him saying, you know what, this guy may be the person that actually committed that crime because there was no DNA ever tested in that alley case, which I don't understand why. And I don't understand why he didn't even ask about DNA being tested all the way up till 2006. Like, why wouldn't he ask? Because they had the technology in 2006 for him, Allie, to say, you know what? It's been all these years. Why don't you just test that DNA? It'll prove it ain't me.
They did.
And they didn't grant that?
Yeah, because the thing was, and it had something to do with, he was convicted with, like, I want to say, like, there was no, like, absolute certainty.
Right.
They said, no, he did. And, he confessed, and it was to everything that we knew. So they were like, so we're not testing that. We're not going to spend the money to test that because he had already confessed, and there it is. Now, that's why they say they didn't. Okay. But then again, look, man, if I'm going to die, and here's the thing, for the love of God, I mean, when you kill me, that underwear is just evidence at that point because it's meaningless. Mm-hmm. So if you could run DNA on that and see if it matches my DNA, buddy, that'd be a big help. And why wouldn't they? Is my point.
Yeah.
Are they concerned not with justice?
No, they're not. That's the thing. Where I'm
at? Okay, and I did want to hop over here for a moment. Icons, people, ladies and gentlemen, and little bitty tiny kittens, even the little bitty newborn kitties out there. I will be speaking to icons at 10 or 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. I will be speaking live, one-on-one, with Mr. Morpheus. That's all I got on it. So I cannot wait for that, because that's the big day, man. That's the biggest thing to happen this year. Aside of me solving the Delphi and the Evansdale case. And I mean, completely aside of that, because this, bigger. Icons, man. The way, the method, the man. You know what? It will be a private conversation, but that is what I'm going to ask him. And he told me, he says, well, let's wait till we talk. And, I can give you a better answer if I'll be on your show. But people, thumbs up. I think that's going to play. I think that will play in. And if he says, yeah, man, I'll be on your show, then that will be right here on the Michael Cat channel. Because I don't want to take that over to UCC1, because it doesn't have the build to where it will really show. You see what I mean? But this channel does. So if I put it out there, it's going to reach a lot more people. And I would like the people, and only the people, that would be on the side of icons. Like, how would I put that? I would say like redemption, sovereignty, America, law, legal, rights, and so forth. If that's your bag, you know what? Then I'll put it up ahead of time as to when the live interview with him will be. But in that meantime, I will be talking to him in the morning. And to me, that makes me proud.
I'm going to have to make a cool thumbnail for that.
Do it. In fact, because I was going to tell him tomorrow, it's like, hey, I can edit pretty well, but I know this dude. Man, I know this guy, man. And he's the edit. He's the dude. Because I'd like to get him hooked up with Streamlabs like I'm running here.
Yeah.
I think that would just step his channel up. Hell, man, he's got like 28,000 subs now, and he's only been at it just probably under 2 years.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, he you know what? I've noticed that everybody within that area that I'm talking about of his video, the type of videos that he makes, they usually have right around that, right in that area of about 26 to 28,000. Yeah, well, what do you mean I know a guy? I know Greeno. Here, this is his name, and that's exactly how you spell it. If you put icons just like that into YouTube, right there at the top, it's going to show him in his Marine uniform, and it's going to say icons. National Community of National Sovereigns. Bam. That's the guy you want to listen to. Head full of common sense, man. I could sit and just have him enlighten me all day. Say, no, sir. Just keep speaking. I'm taking it in. There he is. That's that guy. Click it. Can you click it?
Yep.
Oh.
And give me just a second.
Okay.
So there he is.
Go to the right.
You mean down?
Right there. What's that one with JFK? Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. That's one I seen the other day. But yeah, man, that guy right there, he's the guy you want to watch, people. Yes, he is, Barbara. He is a super patriot, the highest of patriots. He is a guy that looks no further than what is real, what's really real. He tells you about how we're screwed. He tells you exactly how. He's very forthright. That is my love of his channel, man. That guy's got it going on. And tomorrow morning, I'll be talking with him, man. I've waited a year for that shit. A year, people. It's my big day. Oh, me. Set my camera down. There we go. Oh, man, too far. There it is. Okay, so anyway, back to the topic at hand. All right, let's just say, let's propose the fact here that Thomas Bruce did commit the Tennessee murder of that lady. All right, let's just say it comes out that Tennessee's like, okay, you know what? Yeah, if we committed a wrong like that, we're going to need to pay, and we understand, which they won't, I don't believe. I mean, even if it was Thomas Bruce. But let's say they do, and they check it, and they go, hey, wait a minute. This does have Thomas Bruce's DNA on it. So, yeah, maybe he is the killer. All right? What does that, right there, the simple fact that they executed another man for that murder, would have to openly admit that, what does that do to the chance of him getting the death penalty in Delphi? It nullifies it because they would not give him the death penalty. You see where I'm at?
Why wouldn't they?
Because another man was wrongfully killed for an action that he had did. Now, that's going to be big in the news. Well, you killed one innocent man. How many must die like this? Oh, says the crying TWS, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why? Well, you know that this young prosecutor ain't going to go for death anyway over there because he's a little fucking pussy. That's right. I called him a pussy. He wants to fight. Tell him to call me. You know, because he's just a little bitch. That's what he is. You think he's going for death? Oh, fuck no. He's going to pussy out of that shit. Going to go, we got a confession, so we got the guy. Yay, go me. I'll be mayor and governor one day. Yay. That's him. That's what he's going to be running on. but he ain't going to go for death. And that's what I'm pointing out. It's almost like they're wanting to stop the death penalty in Indiana from occurring with him. Because why else would you bring a case? What are the fucking odds? What are the odds that a murder like that would happen back in 1985 and it could be Thomas Bruce? And if it is, they executed another man for it. Well, they're going to be in some big, deep shit down in Tennessee. They'll be paying in no uncertain terms for the life of the man, his time behind bars, any and all money that he could have made. They'll level that city. And they'll take it off the map. They'll owe so damn much. Now, with all of that in the news, and they shoot for the death penalty, I ain't seeing it. Not if it occurred like that, I don't. And again, I want to phrase it like that because I'm not saying that he did it, but I'm not saying he didn't do it. I don't have the evidence to, really try to do the mental mathematics to look at that. I don't have anything. Okay, maybe he was there at that time. Fair enough. But did he do that murder? It's hard to say.
And what the prosecutor was arguing at that hearing was, even if they was to test DNA and find someone else's DNA, it doesn't prove that the guy convicted of it didn't do it, is what the prosecutor says.
Well, this is me. If a guy goes and does a crime like that, okay, let's say I was going to do something to a woman where I was going to rape her. Well, I wouldn't take my shoes and my pants and my underwear off totally, if you see my point. I mean, we're at a park. So why would I leave underwear there to begin with?
That's what I was wondering.
You see where I'm at?
Yeah. Like, who would have left that there? Yeah.
And they're speculating that the killer did. And I'm like, okay, so the killer takes all of his clothes off, but yet throws them all back on after doing this to the lady. And they said that she died of head trauma, not the limb up to, right? Because she was already dead at that time is what they're saying.
Right.
Then this guy throws all of his clothes back on, gets in the vehicle, and then hauls out while two Marines who were jogging, who heard the lady scream, which would have had to have been a good time before that, got there and seen him pulling away. Very odd to me that it went down exactly like that. But I wasn't there.
Yeah, it don't make much sense.
It don't jive. But then again, neither does his explanation of how it occurred. So there is something to maybe be looked at, but we'll find out. Because honestly, I doubt that they go forward with any investigation into Thomas Bruce. I think that they would already say, hey, the most that could ever do is hurt us. And they're not about helping people. They're just not.
You're right. They're not. They're not about finding the truth. They're just about keeping that conviction.
Keep the conviction and don't pay out. And the money they'd have to pay out, that'd set them back well over 10 years.
Yeah, that's millions. Big money.
Big money.
Yeah.
And they ain't about that, people. You believe me, you ain't got right one when it comes to that kind of money. They will kill you and make it look like Thomas Bruce did it. That's how they'd play it.
Yeah. Do we know who the other Marines are? I don't know.
No. You know what? I don't know their names, but it did say that two fellow cadets or something like that was out jogging at the time had heard it, and they went up, and it mentioned in it, I think, that the one or both were males because they were sent back to their barracks.
Interesting.
No, we don't know who the other two Marines are. The last time that a person died in Indiana, who was the last person that died in Indiana? I'm sure I heard about it. Because whenever they're going to kill somebody in Indiana, it's huge news.
I'm going to look. It was December 11th, 2009.
Yeah.
And
I know he has a son. because he is senior, so he has a son of the same name.
December 11th, 2000 time. Matthew Wrinkles
Wow.
was
Okay.
convicted multiple murder. He served 14 years at Indiana State Prison in Michigan City and was executed there on December 12th, 2009. Never even heard of that guy.
You know, I remember when it was going on because it was in the news.
Wow, his last meal was a prime rib, loaded baked potato, pork chop with fries, rolls, 2 salads, and ranch dressing.
Bet he didn't need a bite of it.
No, what's weird is I just ate a loaded potato.
You know, I have to wonder. I mean, like, say they're wheeling you into the lethal injection room. You know you're going to die. You know there's no way out. I mean, they're not pulling the switch or anything, but they're going to inject you till you're dead. And you didn't do it. I mean, what do you say, man? What are your thoughts? I mean, it would be hard for me not to sit there and be like, okay, get your hands off of me, pal.
Yeah.
You know what?
Dude.
I'm not down, but if I could, I'd be beating the living fuck out of your ass.
You better call Randall.
Randall, you better get Randall here, man, because he's the only untouchable I'm aware of.
Tobe, where's Tobe?
Oh, hey, they're going to kill me, man. I'm serious this time, man.
I need to talk to the sheriff in Delphi, please.
He can help me. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He ain't like Randall. Hell, at least you get fat under him. Got TVs and shit.
Let me turn a light on here.
Yeah, you're a little dark.
I know.
You know what? I had to put the lights away from me, and I really wish I could be using the Sony Handycam for this. I really do.
You know, if we get the upgraded version, we can.
What upgraded version of this?
Of the camera.
Of the Sony Handycam.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. You got about $300-400 to throw out.
Probably 600, 700, 800 now.
Oh yeah, okay.
I was looking at it and I was like, yeah, that would be the one, dude. Because I was like, how to live stream with the Handycam, you know? And I was looking at that.
I did. I looked it up about it like a year ago to see if you could plug it in and go live. Nope.
Got to have the newer one. Yep, with all the buttons and stuff.
Well, that's how they do it. They give you the older stuff, knowing what you're going to want, and then go, oh, I see. Well, we're going to add that for a significant price. Thank you. Because that's how they take your money, people. That's exactly how they do it. It's just like the Windows 95 and the original came out. You know what? Hell, man, they had the i9 at that time. They give us stones, man, and then they keep upgrading. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a dinosaur. You need to buy new. No, that's how
I bought it yesterday. Well, the new one's out already. So
yeah, exactly. Once you buy it and you're like, yes. Then it's like, in a year, it's like, what? New Windows? Wait, what? How can this be old?
Yeah.
Well, when did you buy it? Last year? Ta-da! That'd be why.
Yep. I need to upgrade my power director today.
To what?
I couldn't figure that thing out.
With the keygen?
Yeah.
You know what? Let me go do it. I mean, after the show, but let me go do it and download it and see. Because they're easy to work with once you got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you download it?
Dude, I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm clicking on things and I don't know what it is. And I'm just like, I don't know if that's safe. Like.
Yeah, I got you. That's usually my downfall with shit like that. It's like, okay, this says download, but it doesn't say I'm downloading that.
Yeah. So it's like, man, I don't want to. All of a sudden my computer just goes,
yeah.
crap.
That's what happened to me last year, man. HR had to come and save it. He had to come save the day. Okay. Back to the topic at hand.
Okay.
So we covered if, maybe, when, what would happen should it be. Do you think that they would ever come out with that he did it, given what we know?
That's hard to tell. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if they would come right out and say, you know what? There's been an indictment against him for this murder back in 1985, based on DNA evidence would place him there. But how, I don't know if they could do that, because how can they say that he committed the crime even if his DNA evidence was there, just based on what he's done now?
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, you know what? And you make a really good point with that too, because, hey, all right, you found underwear there that you are suspecting belonged to the murderer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't remember ever losing underwear, and I wasn't there. I have no idea how somebody could have got my underwear and put it there, but they must have, because I didn't do that. I mean, now I don't know if they could, and I'm doubting, although it may be feasible to do, that they could exhume the body of Suzanne Collins for any remnants of DNA. But I mean, you see where I'm at?
Mm-hmm.
Into specific areas thereof. But, you know, again, I don't know how that would play.
Yeah, I just don't think that they'll be able to link anything back to him. If they linked the DNA and said that, yeah, his DNA was on those underwear, that's as far as it goes. Now, how are you going to go back to 1985 and say, well, where's these witnesses and where's this and where's that? Can anybody prove anything now?
Well, you know, there is some. There is at least some, because they know the kind of car the guy was driving.
Right. I guess you could find, they would know that.
Yeah, you know, and they could look to see if he had one. I mean, it would just kind of keep setting steps to it that, well, you was there. This is the kind of car you had. Your underwear was there. And hey, you're doing life without parole anyway. You see where I'm at? And and he could confess to that. I mean, if there was evidence to point to him, I think that he would, because at this point in his life, the only thing he's got going is the amount of murders he has.
Right.
You see what I mean? That's the only thing that makes his fame. In fact, in the world right now, if I was to send him a letter, it would probably be one of millions, because he probably gets letters from people every single day.
Yeah. That is something to wonder about. I do wonder about that, how much mail he gets from people and what they're saying.
Well, I mean, when I brought it up on here that I mailed him, and people are like, you mailed him? Are you serious?
He knows where you live.
Yeah, he kind of, well, he really don't. I mean, if I gave somebody my address and they had to go find it on foot, it'd be like, wait, what? Hey, man, anybody know where this 1240 road is? Anybody? Because, I mean, you know, nobody would actually just follow to here by knowing my address.
Right.
See what I mean? And besides that, I'm not really worried. What's he going to do? Send a hitman? He ain't got $1.
Yeah.
He's not in population.
Yeah, he's hit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't know if they'll be able to link anything to him other than maybe DNA. And that still doesn't, I don't think that brings forth enough evidence. But I don't know a whole lot about it to say, well, yeah, we're going to charge him with murder of this girl.
See, in St. Louis, I mean, and again, there was a reason that they got a hold of Carroll County that quick. You know, and there was. I don't think that he was dressed like that. And because, look, if it came down to the fact that law enforcement would see him dressed like that, and it just pops in their head, hey, wait a minute, the suspect in Delphi was dressed like that. Well, everybody would have seen that. It wouldn't have just been law enforcement, you know, thinking, wow, this looks like the bridge guy. So I think that when he was arrested, I think his fingerprints came back as the unknowns from Delphi.
Yeah, and they said similarities in the cases, you know, and it's like, well, what are the similarities? You know, because they also said that with nations.
Nations, exactly, and we didn't know.
If you want to try to piece together that there was similarities with nations in Delphi and then St. Louis and Bruce and Delphi. Well, what do we know about each one? Well, in Bruce, we know he had a gun. We know he shot somebody, and we know he sexually assaulted. In Nations, the similarities, relevance to Delphi is we don't know. We only know that he threatened people with hatchets.
He had a 22 rifle.
He had a gun, yeah, and he's a sex offender.
Well, if both of them used a 22,
then it would be similarities in the case.
But how would law enforcement in Delphi know that he had a 22?
If he shot him.
Well, that would be the only way.
Right.
You see, I mean, that would be the only way.
Yeah. But those are things that raise my, it makes me wonder, if there's similarities in Nations and that, and there's similarities in this and that with him.
This is why I miss us talking.
Why? Because we sit there and try to figure it out?
Well, because when we're sitting here and we just got all night and day to sit and just jive about it, this is how we come up with shit like that. It's just like you going, well, what are the similarities?
Right.
Well, we don't know the pistol that he used down there in St. Louis.
Right.
Okay. But we do know if it was a 22, because we know he had a 22 pistol. We know that Daniel Nations had a 22 rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And those would be the only given similarities between the two.
Right.
That would match.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Now, if he shot her in the head with a Glock 43 or a Sig Sauer, she probably would have died Johnny on the spot, correct?
Yep.
Because, she wouldn't have made it through all that time and then been pronounced dead, like, when she got to the hospital later. That would be like saying that they was trying to get her there in due time. You see,
right?
So, but if it was a 22 and a shot to the head, yeah, you know what? I mean, there's reason to believe. But then again, now Cheyenne said she's seen and heard nothing. But given where it was, given any kind of, I'd say a silencer, or something that he may have wrapped a pistol with, to kind of cover some sound, but plus facing to the east, with his back to the west toward him.
Yeah.
She was back in that trail. I mean, well, how much would she? Because you got that big ravine there.
Mm-hmm.
It's way down a hill from where you are up on the 501.
Yeah, and it's around the bend. So it's
walking towards. So, would she have made any, thought if somebody fired a 22 pistol down there?
Well, I've heard gunshots out there and never thought anything of it, Because
that would have occurred in or around the time that she got there, given the walk to the bridge.
Yep.
Because he would have had made that walk back where she was coming up on the 501.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts.
It's a possibility that she just overlooked it, just heard it and didn't think anything of it because it's Indiana and you hear that all the time,
Captain, we are just discussing the possibilities of, because there is no way to factually say a 22 was used in Delphi because it was never given out.
Right. What we were doing, Captain, is we were taking the possibility, because law enforcement said similarities in the St. Louis case is what brought them possible to Thomas Bruce being connected to Delphi. Well, then they also said the same thing, that similarities in the case of Daniel Nations in Colorado, similarities between that and Delphi was a possibility. So we decided, okay, what do we factually know is happening? Well, we know that Thomas Bruce had a gun, and we know that Daniel Nations was caught with a 22 rifle. And we do know that Thomas Bruce owned a 22.
Pistol.
Okay. Yeah, pistol. So we were trying to piece together the connections of what are the similarities in those cases compared to Delphi. Well, we know Nations is a sex offender. Thomas Bruce committed a sexual offense. They both had a 22. One had a pistol, one had a rifle. Nations was threatening people with a hatchet. And Bruce dressed like the guy. So out of all that, you just got to kind of, and there's a lot of stuff that we probably don't know.
Oh, yeah. There, for everything that we don't know, I would like to know.
I know. That would make, dude, it would be wrapped. If we knew it all like that, like, I just think that it would be like, okay, there it is. It's clear.
You know what? Yeah, To some degree. I mean, you're right, but I mean, I have those missing elements that I know that law enforcement knows.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Because there ain't no way I can get that information, but they can. And that's my halt on those questions. Well, what car did he use here? What car was used in Evansdale?
Yep.
What handgun was used down there in the death of Jamie Schmidt? Was the cause of death of either of the two girls a firearm? Were either of the two shot? Because I've kind of put it that on one of the girls, it likely may have been, and I'm just saying, listen to my words, may have been head trauma for her to live through the night and not be able to respond to a search party.
Right.
You see, because that's the only thing that could have played in, would have been head trauma.
Right.
So, but I wonder, because she was certainly left for dead. So the suspect must have felt, for whatever reason, that she was dead at that time.
Yeah.
If I was going to kill Greeno and I picked up a big giant stick and I whacked him in the head with it, man, just really good, man. And I says, okay, lights out, he's gone. Well, yeah, but what if not? I mean, what if it didn't kill him? Wouldn't he wake up in due time and stumble around and I mean, you see where I'm at?
Mm-hmm.
Unless it was serious head trauma.
Right.
And that's what I'm suggesting, maybe from the blunt end of a pistol, a blow to the head, perhaps.
That's what I was thinking.
Because there would have to be, if you think about it as being a 22, there would have to be a reason to know it was a 22, either by the bullet or by the print of the gun.
Mm-hmm.
To say, yes, this was done by I'm just throwing a name out, like a 22 Ruger, blah, 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 the blunt end, from the blow to the head.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. And we're not saying that someone wrote, no, Lisa, we're not saying that Nations killed anybody with a hatchet. He was threatening people with a hatchet.
I think it's intimidation.
Yeah.
Wow, man, you got the hatchet handy. Look at you.
Yeah, I got it from Caitlin.
Caitlin, did you?
No, I'm just kidding. This is the hatchet that he used. No.
Hey,
no.
You know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because right here in this drawer, right here, I have Daniel Nation's. What was the name of that? What did he call it? Like Declaration of Innocence or whatever?
Yeah. Statement of Innocence. There you go.
I have his Statement of Innocence wrote out, untouched by any human, in an envelope, in a freezer bag. I may give that away in due time, but I need to think of a reason.
I want it.
Do what?
I want it.
Oh, I bet you do. I want it. I want it, but we know he's innocent now. All this is his little confession of it.
Yeah, but still.
I do have his confession. I do have it. And it's in his handwriting, sealed by him, Daniel Hatchet Man Nations, touched by his creepy little hands that have touched more than you'll ever want to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Took Greeno a minute.
Hey, I've been to those bridges, man. I've seen what he was looking at.
Yeah. Daniel Nations is kind of out there, people. I mean, he is that guy. Make no mistake. You probably don't want to be in his presence.
Or at Ricker's. Or Walmart.
Or a gas station. Or parks that he ventures to. Any place where he might be in a vehicle or passing by with his telephone, you might not want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Be subject. So
I want to subject you.
Yeah.
No, I don't want it, Nations.
Well, I mean, so there is the possibility that there was a gun. I'm almost positive there was a gun in the incident in Delphi for something, whether to intimidate, you know what I mean, or to kill with. We don't know if they were killed with a gun or not. Or
You know what? Okay. Let's throw it out there for a brief minute. And we probably need to do this. I got a 22 rifle. It's not as loud as a pistol, though. But we could go down there and we could kind of timeline that in from the time that Cheyenne got there, and you would start walking, and then at the approximate time. But we don't know the approximate time. I mean, understand, he could have got him over there, shot a 22, all right? And nobody was around to hear that.
Yeah.
Because he was down in that valley. They weren't home across where he just came from. I don't want to give the name. They weren't home at that time. A pistol could have been used on one, and I'm kind of suggesting the one that you think I'm suggesting there. Mm-hmm. Whereas the other was perhaps the target.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yep.
And it could have happened like that. But the thing is we don't know, and I don't want to suggest that it did happen like that because there is no way to factually for me to say it happened like that. And I don't want to say things that are unfactual, albeit I could throw it out that it may have happened.
Yeah.
It could have. But it depends on how ballsy he was. And honestly, when you look at the murders and what he's done, I mean, all of them have the same thing attached: brazen midday. Brazen midday crimes. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
We know that when he's not drinking, he's a real nice guy. Super dude. Oh, man, even his neighbor still liked him. And she knew what he did. Yeah, you see? So, the guy had to have been, like, way friendly. Just the kind of guy you would just never picture being that man. But he is. But he turns into that guy.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, it just makes you wonder. Like that's something worth digging into. Go ahead and answer her.
Well, we was discussing the 22, Dan, because of the similarities between the crimes that was mentioned with Daniel Nations in Colorado. And it was also mentioned there were similarities between Thomas Bruce and the St. Louis murders. Well, the only thing that we know that they have in common is that Thomas Bruce had a 22 pistol, and Daniel Nations when he was arrested, he had a 22 rifle that he wasn't supposed to have. Those are the only similarities that we could draw from that. So we're kind of pointing to the fact that maybe, perhaps, we don't know, maybe one of the girls in Delphi may have been shot with the 22 for them to make that connection of there being similarities.
Yeah, within two different cases.
Yeah, that's the only comparison we can draw, but we don't know the full of each case either.
Right.
But I would guesstimate that whatever pistol was used in St. Louis was probably the same one that was used in Delphi that he had handy.
Yeah,
the I-70 killer used a 22, but he wasn't a sexually motivated killer. He would get the women to turn their heads, pop them in the back of the head, and then scram. That was it. Didn't even touch the bodies.
Wow.
But the thing is that a 22 is small, easily concealable, and quiet. And if you want to be, you ain't going to walk around with a 44 Magnum. Everybody would see that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you got a 22 on your belt and you're wearing a jacket, hey, man, you just pull that down. Isn't nobody ever going to know you got a 22?
Right.
What I mean? And it's not a real large pistol that he's carrying if that brown thing is a holster. And I've kind of suggested it may be because it looks like it's in the right area. And when I've looked at the brown holsters, a lot of them look a lot like that.
Right. It just makes you wonder, man. Maybe that's something that's what happened, and it's not as crazy as what people think. But just what makes me wonder, like, how bad the Delphi murders really got was that it seems like every investigator is talking about this is like, yeah, in my whole career, I've never seen anything like that. You know, it's like, what makes you say that?
Well, yeah, but yeah, you know, I see where you're going. I mean, completely, I see where you're at with that. But if you was an investigator and you show, well, I guess there would be murders that you would show up to.
Yeah.
But what would be the odds that it would be two girls of that age? And let's say, because it is something that type does, that the bodies were staged after the fact, you know, that could give more reason for them to say that. Plus, Doug Carter said the way you left them is not the way they are now.
Yeah.
Now, and that there also suggests to me that there were very well could have been a staging, you know, after, of course, the initial part of it.
The attack. Yeah. Yeah. And that just, I don't know. Those things are what really, it's like, I want to know, but then I don't, because then I'm going to be like, oh, wow, that, you know, it's like, that's what I feel like I'm going to, you know.
Well, you know what? Another thing, it's two little girls.
Yeah.
This was a guy who was, well, wait, you know, because I'd have to back that up 2 years. But he was in the area 51 at that time, 51. All right.
Yeah.
Now, if he walks up to two young girls and says, guys, down the hill, again, that presents the fact that there was probably words said prior to that.
Yep.
There was reason that he was angry. There was a reason when he was crossing that bridge that Libby felt that the girl felt that he may be a threat.
Yeah.
You see, and I think that there were words exchanged between them. Now, I'm not saying like angry, like he came up and was angry, but I think that he had said something up front that they wanted no part of, like, hey, you know, dude, you know, and went on about their way. But it deeply angered him because he was drinking. And I think that may have played part of the guys down the hill. Because, you know, look, there's no way that a guy that age would walk up, especially a guy who's friendly and stuff, and say, guys, when he's talking to two young girls down the hill.
And be like, hello, you know, like something. He'd probably, I don't know.
Because you would walk up, oh, hey, man, look, I was just messing around. Like I wasn't trying to be weird or anything. You know, like that. But, you know, you wouldn't just walk up and say that immediately.
Right.
But we know that it was immediately. I want to point that out, too. Because from where he walked up to him at, there wasn't a hill. I mean, they was still a distance from that hill from where they was standing, where he was walking.
Right.
You know, they still had a ways to go before they got there.
Yeah, and it's like,
oh, Barbara Spicer's here.
Hey, Barbara Spicer.
That is a possibility. I mean, you know, because he had things in his jacket. Now, the one that people are thinking like right here that was a pistol, I mean, if it was a 22 pistol, because that looks pretty big, you can see the outline of that on his coat where it's all pixelated. And you can definitely see that there's something large right here on his right-hand side. Now, that doesn't match a little 22 pistol that would like, you know, right there in your hand. That would just be a little bitty bulge. You see where I'm at? So I think that he may have had things prepared. Because, dude, if that was a pistol, that would be a mighty pistol. Because that's taking up half of his right side.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And pointing back toward his arm, if I'm to make out the way that people think that you know, is a pistol there. Plus, the handle of it is huge. And I've kind of said that I believe that it may be a bottle of alcohol that he was drinking from, because he was out there for over 2 hours at that time on that trail. And I don't think he was out there without alcohol. I think he needed that.
Yeah, that is interesting right there. That really, that boggles me what that is, you know. It does. But just looking at that and keep looking at it and staring at it, you just sit there and wonder like, well, that could be a lot of things, maybe, you know, but you never really know. I don't know. Just staring at it, you start to guess anything and everything, you know. But I did assume handgun right off the bat, that he may have concealed some sort of handgun in there.
With Anna, this is me, Captain. I don't think that Anna really knows that much about the crime in general there in Delphi. I mean, law enforcement isn't giving them the knowledge that they're not giving us. You know, they're in the dark as well. Even at the briefing, Doug Carter said that this morning was the first time that the family had heard this new information. And that was the guy's part in the audio.
Right.
Now, if all that was kept from him, anything that she would say aside of that is, and I'm not trying to, anything bad, but what I mean is, just like anybody else, that would be her opinion. And I understand that she's very close to this case, but she's in the unknown the same way everybody else is.
Right.
Now, she did go down when they brought Daniel Nations back from Colorado to Johnson County. Where'd he go? Wow. He hauled ass. Device not connected. There he is.
My computer's been giving me shit here lately, dude. The connection's been bad.
Shouldn't be using keygens, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if that was the issue.
It's like, boop. I said, man, he's gone. He hauled ass. He left the building like Elvis.
Yeah, it's screwed up. It may do it again here in a minute. I may have to restart it. I don't know.
You know what? Yeah. Can you read that?
Yeah.
For you to do.
Okay. Can you ask? Okay, Greeno, can you put the hat from the sketch onto Thomas Bruce's arrest picture with the crazy? You talking about the picture with the big beard that he's got now?
Yes, I believe that's the one she's talking about.
Let me see how much I can play with this real quick.
All right.
You entertain real quick, and I will. I'll be right back. I'm going to try to pull up the editor and see if I can get something pulled up for a second. All
right. It sounds like a plan. Now I forgot where in the hell I was. What was I talking about just prior to that?
I don't remember.
I wasn't talking to you, man. Well, yeah, but he, to what I understand, Alaska, he didn't have a .22 rifle. He had a Bushmaster AR-15, but believe me, that wouldn't easily be concealed within a coat. So, I mean, I'm kind of doubting that. And again, I mean, I could go with the other pistols because I think with a coat that size that you could pull down, all of them would be, it would cover the holster pretty easy. All right. You know what? I heard that. I mean, I heard it, but the thing is, is that if she's saying that, then that would certainly say that she heard a lot more of the video. Well, for her to hear that much of it with the girls, because, okay, for one, and again, I'm not claiming that I know this, okay, but why would she have it on video record at a time when they was walking, talking about the trail ending, which is at the bridge, unless they got to the south side and then that guy was behind them. But I don't think that they had made it totally to the south side. I think that they was, if you're crossing that bridge going to the south, they were in or around that last platform on the left. Maybe right there on the inside of it on the tracks, or maybe right there to the platform itself. Because when he's walking up toward him, we know the exact spot where his feet were. I mean, you could find it really easy. So this is his back foot, right here's his front foot. And you get back over there to that spot, it lines up pretty damn good. So I'm not thinking unless she had put that on, because why would she already put it on video record and then be talking about that creepy guy being behind him? Okay. I mean, you see my point? I think she put it on video record to capture that guy because he was getting over close to him. And he thought that, well, he's going to bring that up again. And, we want to get this to law enforcement or let people know that this guy's out here. But I don't know anything beyond that. I've never talked to Anna about it, and nor would I. I mean, I would never ask her anything about this case. That is not anything that I would go to the family concerning. All right. Well, that is the end of those questions. Anything else? I love to answer questions. Other than that, I just sit here and will ramble endlessly. Yeah, and nor would I, Mama Bear. That is, that's something that's really hard. That the family, and all members of the family would have to deal with. Now, I did talk to Anna for a brief second, but it was concerning my sister. Her and my sister knew each other, at least somewhat. Yeah, right, and I agree with that, and I don't think that it was just a mere sixth sense. I mean, I think that there was an exchange of words when they came in. I think that he seen him, had said something to him. And they're like, yeah, for whatever it was, dude, yeah, and just kept going. And I think that just because he was there to commit a crime, much like this, is my belief. Reverse state of Evansdale. So, I mean, I do, man. I mean, I believe that there were words said up front. That was the 8-minute delay that I spoke about. Me and Greeno went there. We started right where they were dropped off and kept the time of it. We walked very slow, very casual, and probably a little bit slower than what the girls would have walked. And we walked from the entrance to the bridge, stopped for a moment where Libby took the picture of the bridge, and then continued out on the bridge, walking slow. We got to that area and I handed him the phone and I says, okay, now, you get over there, show me where to put my feet here. Okay, we got everything lined up. And I said, okay, give me the time. We had got there 8 minutes quicker than what they did. 8 minutes. Now, I'm not saying they wasn't there chit-chatting, taking pictures, doing anything like that, because they may have been. I mean, I wasn't there, so I can't really say. But I am saying that there was a lapse of time. Now, we don't know how far back behind him he was. We can speculate he was at that bend in the trail where he could look back this way toward Freedom Bridge and then look back this way, man, toward the Monon High Bridge and watch them at the same time. That way, by looking back this way and seeing no oncoming hikers, and then looking that way where they're heading to the south side, then he could say, okay, go. And then he starts heading right across that bridge toward him, right down that trail and across. So that's kind of the way that I'm looking at it. But mind you, that is just speculation from what we know. I mean, it's only looking at it and saying, well, that's the only way that we could see that it would have occurred. Because if you're going to do a crime like that, you don't want somebody walking up behind you, and seeing the whole of that, of the abduction. So you would have to keep your eyes back there. And when crossing the bridge, in case somebody was walking quickly, he would probably have to keep looking back behind him, which was probably already a set off, because it takes minutes to cross that bridge. Literally minutes. You can't just straight across it. You got to have your eyes down with every step, watch where you're going. It takes a while to cross that bridge. Well, they seen him coming and they knew that he was likely a threat. Now, I feel that they knew that he was likely a threat because the words mentioned prior to, when he got up to him, when he told him to go down the hill, guys. Well, if you call somebody guys, you don't call little girls guys. You don't. Not unless you're drunk and you're a little angry. Then guys, down the hill. So, oh, thank you very much, Lisa. I'm very grateful for that. Very grateful indeed. Jackie Oliver, I do not really care what that person said. I don't give a piss what they said. Anything that they said, please don't bring it to my channel. No offense to you. I mean, everybody can watch whatever they want, and that's just fine with me. But I've never watched that guy's videos. I don't know anything about him, nor would I. I would never go watch a video just because, somebody said to, because that's his opinion. That's his questions, and they don't belong to me, and nor do I care. Yes. Thank you very much. And again, Lisa, this is why I was telling everybody that tomorrow morning I will be speaking with icons. That's spelled just like this. Just like icons is spelled, all in capital letters. Go to YouTube, put in icons, and there he's going to be. Mr. Icons. That man is all common sense, straight up. Oh, no problem at all, Jackie. I mean, that's what I'm saying, because I've had people email me and ask me about it, or get a hold of me on Facebook, and I'm like, I don't know the guy. I have no reason to know who that guy is. Unless he walked up to me and said, "Hi, I'm that guy," I would be like, okay, I've heard people talk of you. Have a nice day. Well, Greeno appears to be back. He is.
Yep. Hang on just a second. Let me.
No, Jackie. It's perfectly fine. No harm was done at all.
Hold on.
I just always make it clear to people when they reach me about other stuff that I don't watch other people's stuff. So if you don't mind, and I mean, hey, you're game to talk about it all you want in chat. I don't care. But as to me, I don't answer to or for anybody else. I'm over here, whereas people are over here most of the time. Keep that in mind. Alaska, it will be at, he said 10 or 11 a.m. in the morning. So I will be up and I will be sitting here. I told him I would send a link to him beforehand. I told him to check his mail. Yeah, well, I mean, he told me in the email 10 to 11, but we've been in email chat for a while. I mean, off and on, we've been in communication like that. But he did get a hold of me, and you're the guy. You know what? I dedicate this show right here to Anon. That's right. I do. Because he is the one that reached Icons. And he got a hold of me and he says, "Hey, one of your subscribers that's over here, he said I need to talk to you, man." But like I said, we've been back and forth and actually discussing ways that we could like video conference. Man, that makes him look Irish, dude.
Hey, they asked, so I figured, what the hell?
It does, though. I mean, it does. It makes him look Irish, like he's wearing a derby. You know, this is what it looks like, man. I just don't think the hat fits that image. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it shouldn't fit a mugshot, you know.
Yeah, it's Eastern time. He's Eastern as well. I was speaking on icons.
Eastern.
Right. Eastern time.
All right. So, I mean, there is.
Well, anyway, the show is dedicated to you, totally to you, because you have in sorts begifted me of the greatest gift of this year, minimally. And again, that's totally even aside of solving the cases. Talking to icons, yeah. I would tell him, I'd say, "I'm listening, enlighten me. Give me your common sense."
There you go. Look at that.
Fade it.
Hold on.
Man, wow, though, huh?
Yeah. Right there, you probably get the best. I mean, with his beard coming down,
About right near, yeah.
up, the beard on the side lines up, the eyes, the nose, the eyebrows, and where the hat would go. That's pretty good right there. And then I can move it up to show a little bit more of the sketch, and then down again, right there, and then keep scrolling down. Yeah, that's pretty damn close right there.
Yeah. Thank you.
You know, yeah, that's pretty close. I had to restart my PC to pull this thing up, but
Glad you did, man.
yeah, that's pretty good right there. That's a pretty close image. You know, when you're looking at that, let me take that little thing off of him there. There you go.
Dude, if you put a hat on him and you got rid of the beard and put it right to the thing, you're looking at the man that they drew that sketch from. Now, why did they withdraw the first one? Because he was no longer a person of interest. He's now suspect. There's always something behind what law enforcement says. Always. No matter how they phrase something, it's in a way to say something or not say something. That is law enforcement.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that.
Oh,
that's cool.
And if provided that you could still get here at that time, I got everything set up.
Okay.
The meat rolls will be able to be done at any time after tonight.
Okay. Cool.
And the final stance video, which is what I want to make.
Okay.
In fact, we could do yours the same way. You know, we could just sit here and go through like 2 days and just knock it out, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, because it's a lot. You know what I mean? I know how those things are when you want to put together that piece. You know what I mean? Just that one piece. It's like, wow, that's a lot of work, dude.
The thing is like, shit, man, I could just give you the SD card, man, and you could go off and do your own editing at a later time once we get everything set forth.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yep. Wow, man, that just amazes me how close that is, you know? I mean, you go from that.
Yeah.
There, and the mustache and stuff lines up perfectly.
Yeah.
You know, just a little bit further in, and you got it lines. It definitely hits it. Put a hoodie on that dude, and there you go.
Put a hoodie and a hat, give him a shave. Yeah, you're looking at the man right there that they made that sketch from. And I've spent that now for pushing a year at the end of, when was that, man? I mean,
that was November last year.
No. Remember when you had stopped by and I was telling you, and that was before you even went to jail, dude. And I was telling you, I'm like, yeah, dude, I think this is the guy, man. I really do. And you're like, yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, whatever. You know, and then I'm telling you when you're in jail, dude, it's him. Tell everybody. I'm still saying it's him, people. That's this thing now, saying it's him. I mean, it'll be a year. I mean, that could be at the end of November. I don't think it was that quick. It may have been, because I got started on it the moment I heard, and that would have been on the 22nd, 23rd of November. It's like right before my birthday. And I mean, like once I heard, like, you know,
November 19th.
Well, yeah, no, that's when it was committed, but it took them 2 days to arrest him.
Right.
And then we had to wait till, like, you know, they had got a hold of Carroll County, which was, I think, that day or the day after, because it was almost immediately after his arrest that they got a hold of him. And then that hit the article just that quick, man. I was on it. I said, hey, if the guy was dressed like Rich Guy, looks like the sketch, and had never broken the law before, and committed to like a sexual assault and first-degree murder, this might be our dude. I better look into him. That's what led down the rabbit hole right there, because there has not been one piece that I have found that he does not fit. Everything that I've looked into, I have found. Everything that I have found or has been said, I can clarify and tell you exactly why, because it is all there, man. 100%. I had a guy get a hold of me the other day, and he's saying like, yeah, but you said you're 100% certain. Yeah, I kind of am. I mean, if I'd laid my left arm on it, I'm pretty positive. Well, I think Charles Eldridge is more suspicious than he is.
And the thing, Charles Eldridge was, you know what? The statement made by Doug Carter was, or the Captain Burston said, not a person of interest, not a suspect in the crime of Charles Eldridge. And Doug Carter said, just because someone's tipped in doesn't make him a person of interest or suspect.
Well, exactly. Yes. And thank you for saying that, because that is very fact. Hell, we were turned in. Was we a person of interest? Yeah, right alongside 46,000 other people.
Yeah.
That they was going to go talk to, but we certainly didn't do anything.
Exactly.
And that would point a finger to say that we did because of my hat is probably clearly out of their mind. Now, could I turn around and sue them? I wish like fuck I could.
Yeah.
I wish I could. I wish I could say I want that dude's name because he took my copyrighted name and slandered it. He made accusations against me, Your Honor, concerning, yeah, man. I mean, like, you know what? I mean, just on a copyrighted name. I mean, I could own somebody for that. Literally. I could own a piece of their housing for that shit. Man, I got the paperwork sitting right there of what that amount is. If my name is put in the paper without my expressed written permission by them to do so, they owe me that amount. I'd take them straight to court. Straight to court. I would actually send them a UO with the reasons why. Then a second notice, a final notice. Then I would just throw a lien on them. Bam, it's done. In that amount, plus 3 months interest, because that would be in the letter to him. So, man, you took my name and did things. Yeah, I don't think so, pal. that no longer applies in my world.
Let's see here.
You know what? Yes, but if I owned all of Carroll County, you know what I would do? I mean, Carroll County is, or is it not the the country's largest swine producing county?
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
My God. You know what I would do? I'd go hang out with pigs all day.
Yeah.
I would, man. I'd
You're going to hang out at the jail all day?
Do what? Yeah. I'd escort him to the courthouse when need be. Come on, Mr. Randall. You was a pig once. Mind if I call you Pork Chop Randall?
Yeah. Man, dude. Carroll County. Of all places, Delphi. You know what I mean? I still can never wrap my head around that. It's like, man, of all places, dude, Delphi is like this spectacle that everybody's curious about. And it's like, it's just a small old-timey where horse and buggies are. It's like, that's what's here in Delphi, is there is nothing here but small town USA. I mean, literally, Tobe said it right on the money when he said small town USA, that Delphi is just this tiny little town where crime really don't happen like that.
If I may, did you ever look up the population of Evansdale?
No.
Approximately the same size as Delphi.
Really? Tiny?
Yeah. Huh?
Tiny.
Yes, very tiny. Let me remove this real quick, and I will go look that up. Oh, wait. I don't want to. Okay, remove that from the stream. There we go.
Okay.
Let me look up the population of Evansdale. $4,763.
Wow. Yeah, that's just a little bit bigger than Delphi. Tiny.
Right there. Evansdale population, 4,700 people. And that was in 2017. Now, I mean, I'm thinking like it just would have been a few people smaller or even larger back in 2012. But,
Yeah.
you know, it was a small trail, small town, low security. You know, it was a place where he felt like when he was drunked up some, he could go there, grab a kid, and be gone. I mean, he had stopped there before, but I don't know where he was traveling to, but it may have very well been like Delphi. He could have left St. Louis. His wife was working. He was not. He could get up the highway. He had reason to be gone. He came back. You know, I mean, he may have been going north to see somebody, or he may have just selected a day to go do that, it being Friday the 13th. See what I mean?
Yep.
Just like on Delphi, the reverse state. He had a place to go. He knew of that trail, just like that one. Small town, secluded in the country, and he was there for a reason. Got there at 12, stayed till, and then left.
Right.
Both right off of a highway, both small trails, 2 girls abducted, both girls dead, both girls found by a creek, reversible date. The coincidences are stunning. Lost a job 1 month before both crimes, filed bankruptcy the month prior to Delphi, then resigned from his job. I mean, it just all fits. I mean, like off the go, I didn't know all of that, but I put it together rather quickly. But it was when I found the route to Delphi, I'm like, I got him, man. I knew I did at that time. And that's when I threw Evansdale right in it. Once I seen he drove, that's when I started looking back at Evansdale, and I'm like, yeah, this same dude, man. This is the same exact guy. And just a year ago, man, it's just over a year ago. That was in September of last year, man, when we was sitting here doing the Delphi Evansdale similarities.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
That had to be what, like right after we went there with Tony?
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around that time.
It was right. Yeah, it was within a week, you know, of that time. Yeah, I think it was like a week following.
Yeah. That was good too. And you know what? That was the interesting part is people was like, well, and people still ask me, can you do something like with Kat and talk about like the Delphi Evansdale similarities? And I'm like, you know what? We did at a time, but there was a lot of stuff that we didn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If we go back a year ago, we were still under the impression that he likely didn't drive.
Yeah, because we didn't know anything about the vehicle.
Yeah, because they had never stated a vehicle, and Tobe Lesenby even said, yeah, you're right. We never mentioned a vehicle. So, you know, that's why I said in the one video, provided, because that's the way I put it, provided he didn't have a vehicle, Delphi would have been his only way to get back there would have been up the tracks. Now, I did have a person comment on that, and they said, well, yeah, but he would have got his feet wet crossing the branch. That little creek that runs right there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, his feet would have already been wet.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Man, the dude just crossed the creek. I don't think he gave fuck one about crossing a branch.
Yeah.
I mean, man, it's like this deep.
Yeah, who cares?
You know? Hell, he's hitting the tracks and walking in town. He don't give a shit.
Yep. Yeah, which I really like that video. If you would have zoomed out, it would have made it better. It would have been better.
What?
When you did that video.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Dude, I ain't watched that video since I put it up, man.
That was good video.
Yeah, I do get comments on it, though.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, you know what? I could have did that in a much better way, and I knew that at the time, but I wasn't looking at the video.
The viewfinder? Yep.
Well, yeah, because, you know, I was just taking the camera along and just kind of aiming it where I wanted, but I wasn't really using it to its advantage.
Right.
The way I should have. But that would have been the route right there. In fact, I should have followed it right on to cross the damn run, walked up there. And I mean, just the whole damn 9 and said, okay, here I am on the tracks. Now I'm walking right toward Delphi.
Yep.
But again, I mean, once I found the Hoosier Heartland route to his brother's house, now I see, you know, from like, you know, when I looked that up, that when you drive from St. Louis to Fort Wayne down to Hoosier Heartland, all you got to do is go, and I forget how many miles north it is, because it's just straight north of Fort Wayne is Montrose, Michigan.
Right.
You know, and I mean, if he was going to his family's house in Montrose, he would probably stop through Fort Wayne anyway. And again, that gives good reason that he had went down the Hoosier Heartland. He had stopped at the trail. He had been to the One on High Bridge Trail numerous times. It's a quick jaunt through the woods and back. That's all the trail amounts to. You know, the area around it, pretty easy. I mean, hell, after we'd been out there like 3 times, we knew it by heart.
Yeah, it's not hard. Once you're out there the first time, you're kind of like the two trails. I mean, it's really just one long thing, you know?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is. You get to a secondary entrance and it starts the 505, but you got the 501 here and it just cuts off a little piece. But you're only from hither to thither from the other person, but it goes down to the water rather than straight down to the bridge.
Yep.
Now, I think originally the 505 was a walking trail.
I mean, I think it is. It goes all the way down to the water. I did it in one of my recent videos. It's just all the way straight down to the water.
No, but what I'm getting at is that when it was a railroad track, that was 501. I think that the 505 is where people walked and then went down to the water there by the bridge.
Right.
You know, rather than walking on the other people's property by taking the 505 over the tracks and then walking down to the water, there would have been your safe passage, you know, to get to the water.
Yeah. You know what? I am curious about that. Was that even a trail system, right? Was it a trail system? Up until why the railroad?
No, it wasn't a trail system until after they retired the railroad and they made it that way.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that people had probably walked that 505 to get down to the water because the railroad owned that down to the Deer Creek, but on the other side of that was private property.
Okay. Yeah.
You see what I mean? So if they went in that direction right there, they could have just went over the tracks and they had a walking trail already there going to the water. That's what I'm saying. It may have been a walking trail, but I'm not saying like a trail where it was marked trail.
Right. To answer, let's see, Katie's question, how long did it take to cross the bridge? At fastest, I've been able to cross it in 4 minutes flat, hurrying across. But that's after several times being over it. First time, we kind of lingered around on it because we was looking at things and checking things out. But for someone's first time out there, if you say cross the bridge, it's going to take them a minute.
Yeah.
It's going to take them a minute because you don't know what you're stepping on. Some of the wood looks very sketchy.
Yeah.
You know, when you look at it, you're like, yeah, if I step there, it's going to break. You know, like Tony, when we told Tony, we got Tony to the point where Abby's picture was taken. And I told Tony, if you watch the video, I said, Tony, put your right foot right here. And he's like, okay, why? Like, is there something I'm going to step on if I don't do that? It's going to fall through or something, you know? And it's like, no, it's not. But that's what people's mindset is when you first go out there. You see the missing pieces and you see the deteriorated wood and you're sketchy at first, you know? The platforms to me are probably the safest part. And people are like, I don't know why you'd step on that platform. It's like it'd just tip over one day, you know? But I think it's very stable.
You know what? Right now, if it was still a railroad track that was crossing it, it would hold a train.
Yeah.
I mean, they took that out in 87? Maybe it was 86 or 87. I remember when trains went through there on County Road 200 when I'd be going to Delphi when my dad moved out in 86.
Yep.
And I remember that a train or two had been going through there because the tracks were still there.
Yep. Just a second. I'll be right back.
So, I mean, it was after they took the tracks out, and that's when I think that they got the property there to make the trail, took the tracks out, and then that became your main 501 trail with the 505 going right back through. Thank you very much, Pauline, and duly appreciated. Thank you. I already gave the show date on it. And you know what? You would. And I mean, I've had people me saying the same thing, like, yeah, but there's no way I'd go out on that bridge. And it may seem like, you know, that would be the case. But look, I mean, if it's one thing I got a fear of, it's heights. Not little heights. I mean, like being on a roof for a 3-story, I'm cool with that. But it's just that I don't like heights, man. Like,
Dude,
way up there looking down, going, "Oh fuck, man.
dude,
Oh, shit."
go to the tulip trestle.
The what?
Go to the tulip trestle.
Oh, well, but again, I don't think that would faze me because I have an area to walk where I know I'm fine at.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things. If I had to go down across the side of a building that was way up on a skyscraper, and I only had a ledge this wide, now you got to walk from there. I'll be like, no. I already know that I'm dead when I do that, man. I know what's going to happen. You can't convince me otherwise. $50. Did you get $50 from her?
Maybe.
Really? Ah, okay. I'll say I didn't receive that.
I don't know. And sometimes they come in so much, and sometimes people's YouTube's names are different from their PayPal's names, and I don't like to mention the names, if they don't want that. So,
yeah, right. Exactly.
So sometimes I don't know who it's coming from.
Well, I mean, I always write them back.
Right.
I always send them a good letter.
Right. Yeah, you guys should do that. If you send a donation and your name's different on PayPal than it is on this, which I'm sure it is, tell me who you are on here so I know who you are.
Yeah, and again, it's like when I answer email, it's like, well, I don't know if that was from you, but I mean, I get very confused on the names because I go through a lot of email, and I even call some of the people. But for me to remember who it was I was talking to by name, it's a little harder. I mean, now if I was sitting there talking to them face to face, then I wouldn't forget their name. But in an email, you do.
Cool, Mama Bear. That's our goal, is to give you information.
That is it. That's it. And not just information, because anybody can just give information, but we try to give it real, logical, and conclusive, very clear the way it's seen, and make those connections. And again, it's a little different because when Greeno was around, we spent the majority of our time talking about different things, similarities. Well, what similarities? These things would be ricocheting back between us all the time. But it's like when I'm just sitting here thinking about it, and it's kind of odd because my mind won't even be on it. And that's what I was telling Greeno a year ago. It's like, don't sit and dwell on it. Don't sit and dwell on like one little point, because your mind in the back of it's already working that.
Yeah.
It's already working that. And when it comes up with it, it'll be there. It won't matter what you're doing or thinking. It'll just pop in your head and you go, oh shit, I never thought about that. Because your mind's working on it and it will come up with it. But if you sit and you stare at somebody's picture and you're like, who is that? Well, if you don't know them, you're never going to know.
Yeah.
You will never know. You can't pull that out thin air.
Well, it was so much that we was talking about it like all the time. And it's like at 9:00 every night, we'd go down and visit our friend, and we'd hang out there and we'd watch a little TV, watch some video games or whatever, and just chit chat. Right. And so it got to a point where it's like, okay, at 9:00, we'll stop talking about it for the rest of the night. And we go down there and we're sitting there, and within 5 minutes, something is said, and it's like, hey, wait a minute, man. Okay, so what about this? And it's like, okay, see, there you are doing it already.
Yeah, there it is.
It's like you can't get rid of it. It's just there. It's like all of a sudden you'll think of something for no reason and be like, hey, dude, I figured it out, and you just jump right back into topic. But that's all we talked about for a long time.
Lily, this isn't WKAT.
Yeah, this is Cat's channel.
We don't work together. He's my guest on the show. But man, when was the last time we was in conversation concerning the Delphi case?
What do you mean? Well,
I mean, aside of like on a show like this, when When was the last time where we sat and really discussed anything on the Delphi case?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's going back.
Yeah.
It's over a year ago.
Yeah, just sitting around.
You know what? I mean, yeah, I'd put it out like that. I think at about the time we made that Evansdale Delphi video last year, in or around there was last time we had sat down and really talked one-on-one about it.
Right.
So it's over a year ago. But when we do talk about it, because we're on the same, page, we're looking at the same thing because we've discussed it for so many years, now pushing so many years. It'd be like 3 years in February.
I know, that's crazy, isn't it?
You know what? So something else, I mean, and I'm just throwing it out there, that the Delphi murders happened approximately, and I got to think, what day did Trump get inaugurated on?
I think January, I don't know.
It was right at the time he was filing bankruptcy, because he filed that on January 11th of 2017. It was right at the time of his inauguration.
Right.
But then the Delphi murders happened like 1 month thereafter.
And that took precedence over Trump's,
Well, it did.
It did.
It really did. If you live in or around Delphi.
Yeah. It's like, who cares who the president is? We're focused on Bridge Guy. His picture's everywhere. Everywhere. I think that's what stuns people that come to Delphi. Is when they go around town and they just see that sketch and that picture everywhere.
I haven't been over there since the 2-year reunion. And even that, I wasn't walking through town.
Right.
Yeah. It is about my hair. Not so much the beard, but the hair. Yeah, the hair sets it off. My hair looks like that of Khan. Khan is a bad motherfucker. He is, man. Ricardo Montalban, God, man. That dude he just kicked ass. Nothing was as cool as what Khan was. Hey, yeah, you know what? I ain't even going to mess with him, man. I went up there to lift him up on the chair, man. Hell, he was ready to eat my arm up for that. He knew what I was coming for. He was trying to wag his little nub. Man, did you do that?
Yeah.
You got pictures of Wolf. How cool, dude.
No, you got it saved on this thing.
On what thing? Oh, that's right, duh.
Yeah, I remembered it was in there, so I went over there and hit it real quick. There he is.
Yeah. That's how he was looking at me, wanting up on the chair. Then I do it, and he's like, "Arr!" And I'm all like, oh, dude, there's people listening, man.
Yeah.
Cool with that, man.
He's playing euchre.
Man, you know what? I have not totally stopped. I played a game yesterday.
Yeah.
I was upset about that, man. It's so rigged.
Dude, I got on there a couple weeks ago and played 2 games and won and then retired.
Won what?
I won. I set up a thing on NightInc and played 2 games of euchre, won, and then retired. Said, you know what? I'm done. I'm going out undefeated. It's over.
What? Maybe I am in a little piece of misunderstanding. How do you go in there into a euchre lounge to play 2 games and then leave? Wouldn't you still be playing in the tournament?
No, I wasn't playing in a tournament. I just jumped in a couple games and just played.
But not in the tournament lounge?
No, not tournament, no.
You was in social lounge?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was, just to go play. Well, it took me a minute to figure out how to even get into these things. I was like, man, look at all these seats and stuff, and I don't even know what my avatar is. And
you don't have one.
Well, I had to create one.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I mean, if you ain't got an avatar, man, I had to make Johnny Blaze. I made him a damn good avatar, dude. It says Johnny Blaze, and it's got the man that's all in flames with the euchre hand behind him. that had all the flame did on Power Director, man. He's all like, oh, yeah, dude. Hell yeah, man. That's fucking cool shit.
I'm going to win.
Hey, he has.
There it is.
Okay, so back at topic at hand. Where exactly was we? We had touched upon the Tennessee crime and the possibilities thereof, the similarities between Daniel Nations and Thomas Bruce. That the only similarity that we can actually look at and see is the fact that we know Daniel Nations had a 22, but the pistol used against Jamie Schmidt, who lived a while after being shot up close and personal in the head, lived for a while. So we could speculate that that may have been a 22. And if the 22 was the similarity between those two crimes, the one of the felony of Daniel Nations at the trail out there intimidating with a hatchet and having a 22 rifle, and Thomas Bruce down there shooting the lady in the head with a 22 rifle or with a 22 handgun, that the 22 caliber gun may be the similarity that we're looking at.
Yep.
Now, I've given my reasons that there was head trauma to one of the girls, and she could not respond to the search party for that reason, because there would be no other reason. If I cut somebody open and they were going to die, they would die rather quickly. But before they died, they would still be able to respond to a search party.
Yeah.
What I mean, if they was going to live that long after the fact. But if it's something to the head like that, or even a blow with the blunt end of a metal pistol, that could maybe, because he had to presume that she was dead.
Right.
You see what I mean? Because he wouldn't have left it there believing that she was still alive.
Correct.
It's just, but that, that's just the way I'm thinking. But anyway, that is pretty much the lowdown. So that leaves me now a little to speak on.
Okay.
Because what else can we touch on that would need touched on this week?
Not a whole lot, but I mean, I think that was a big thing. Was pointing out the similarity. I think that's a big step. Maybe it may be nothing.
Maybe, but here's the thing. We can't say that it's true because we don't know, nor will we until the guy goes to court. And even if he does go to court and that is found to be true, well, I wouldn't be the one that said, well, I was standing on that all along, because, well, again, it's a similarity, but it is nothing that I can back by evidence.
Right.
I mean, you see what I mean? So I can't really give that as a piece. I can give it as a side note.
Right.
And that's why I was saying there's a lot of side notes that I could look at circumstantially and say maybe involved, but factually I can't say. Right. But those will go in my final stance video where I'm all like this and I'm, giving this salute to everybody, and that is my final stance, y'all.
Right.
This video that you came for.
Right.
It is. And I do give that as a similarity. Right. And I mean, that certainly is a similarity. But I mean, look, if I had a blue jacket on and this hat and somebody had arrested me and turned me into Carroll County because of a similarity, there's a lot of people out there with similarities. You see what I mean? I mean, how many times have we went to a store and we're all like, hey, dude, man, look, this bridge guy. Because at the right time of year, about anybody with a little bit of a weight problem, man, they look like bridge guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess I don't have anything more to add. I was just tuning in to help you edit and stuff, pull up things.
And great job. Lily, with his PayPal link. But there is no reason. I mean, well, there is. I mean, I'm not trying to cut WKT out, but I'm just saying don't send people to the WKT to give money to the both of us. I mean, you can send it to either of us. and say it's for both of you, and we will divide that accordingly.
Yeah, because WKT doesn't have anything like that.
Yeah, but on this channel right here, the only thing that would be needed would just be the email addresses and the individual PayPal links.
Yeah, and usually whatever you see at the top, I guess it would be over there above him. Whatever name you see up there, that's chances are that's whose show it is. Or if you see over here in the top corner where that subscribe button is, if that says WKT, then you'll know that we're WKT. But it's also, you'll know what channel it's on. So it depends on what channel you're looking at. I know sometimes it could probably get confusing when you see us both on here. Icons. There you go.
Yeah, but can you read that? Yeah, it's just solid black to me, man. Let's take back to subscribe.
That's because of the background.
Greeno Productions.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So yeah, I need to make more of these things, make them look cool. But
anything that you could do, because when he got a hold of me today, Icons, he asked me, he said, okay, I got the link that you sent. Is that the one that you want me to use in the morning? Well, I'm assuming, let me hit invite. Yeah, that it looks, it might be different than the one I had sent him prior. No, wait, it is. But if I was on the Icons one, would it not be the identical link that I had sent him before?
It should. Just resend him one when you get in there, because you see the invite down here at the bottom of the screen. Just send him another one. Say, click that right there.
Yeah, well, that's what I told him I would do. I said I'd be on here in the morning, and before that time, I will send you the new link. Here, I said the old one might be good, but this will be fresh. I said if it isn't clickable, put it in your browser. You're there. I said give me a second to see you're there, and we're live. Well, we're not live, but we're in private conversation.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you go, dude. And if you need help in the morning time, like I can sit back and help, You know
what?
Because we could do up to 6 people. I mean, I don't even got to say nothing. I can just sit here down here with no screen on and just click buttons, to show him how easy it is to do.
That, what? Because what I would do is after he gets on, after we talk for a minute, because I would send you the link because he can't see you down there.
He can't? You know what? I don't know. I don't know how that works for an invite.
Oh, he doesn't.
No, she was an invite.
Software.
Hmm?
He doesn't have the software. He doesn't have StreamYard.
Okay. Well, I invited Mama Bear that one time, and she was a guest, so she could tell us. Could you see any of the buttons that we was clicking on, Mama Bear? I don't think they can.
Well, I mean, but this what I was going to say is like after I'm talking to him for a while, because I would send you the link so that you could come on here and you could really show him your editing skills, man.
Okay.
Because I think that with him using this to go live, because that's what he does is he records it and then uploads.
Yep.
Okay. So if he had this where he could just go live, going to say what he's going to say live, and he had all the editing ability, we could probably, I mean, like you for one, man, I mean, like with some of the stuff you could make, could just set him up.
Yeah, he'd like it. I'm sure.
He positively would. And I think it would just make his subscribers go through the roof. And that is my biggest concern.
Cool.
I want the full amount of subscribers to his channel. Like nobody should ever get tired of hearing that man talk.
Yeah.
When he makes a half-hour video, I'm like, yes, bam. Give me some popcorn, Wolf.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me round my thoughts out here because it's going to be a week before I probably get back unless something happens, and it probably won't.
Okay.
Do we have anything? Oh, wait. Hold it. Yeah, no, wait. I forget the name of the lady, but it was on Fox News today. Okay, a lady was abducted from her cabin in Michigan. Okay. Now, this is like, okay, on Lower Michigan, where it's like this, let's say, and we're down here is Indiana. Well, Montrose is over here. And I'm not suggesting that Thomas Bruce did this, but I'm just laying out the crime. It was back over here toward the western shore there on the Wildcat. Well, the place was, I forget how many miles from where the lady lived, but she was at her cabin. Now, this is how this went down. She called her friend at like 2:45 a.m. and said that she needed help, right? Now, I don't know what happened when she told her friend that she needed help like that, but her friend then calls law enforcement at that neighboring city, okay? Well, they send the people out there to her house, and they arrive at 13 minutes after she called her friend at a cabin.
Wow.
13 minutes after she called her friend, they arrive. And nobody was there. I thought, okay, that's just like that. What was her name? Who was abducted up there in Wisconsin? Was it Jamie?
Jamie Clausen?
Clausen, exactly.
Claus, yeah.
Yeah. You know, because it's just like that. When they showed up, the guy had just left. I speculate a guy. But she was up there with her, I think, boyfriend. And her boyfriend had returned home. And, you know, the family said, well, no, he came back yesterday. So we know that he was here. But I thought, well, it wasn't that far from the place. And he could have got there if he was going to commit any foul play. I mean, he knew where she was. You see what I mean? But I think that if he walked in, she wouldn't be calling her friend for help.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, it just left me at a quandary as to like what it could have happened there. But they have the crime scene, so they will find something in due time. But as far as that goes, that is it.
Okay.
That is all that I have.
I don't have anything else. So,
well, you need to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to make a PayPal donation, then please visit the PayPal donation link that is right up there on your screen. Also, go over and subscribe to WKAT and my channel, True Crime Investigates, and share it to all your social media platforms, which would include Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, or wherever the hell you'd like to share it to. On that note, everybody, I'm Anthony Greeno. Keep it Southern style, y'all.
Peace.
Later, dude.
Later. All right, everybody. And with that, I am out of here. Hang on. You know what? I don't think anybody did. In fact, I know nobody did, because it wasn't turned in to law enforcement by anybody until the two women who survived had called them after the fact. So, you know, they was looking around for cameras or any way to monitor the area. They didn't find any. So there it was. Anywho, let me see. Yes, it is just the facts. That wraps it up for me. And I will see you all next week at 6 p.m. Eastern time next Tuesday, unless something happens between now and then. I will catch you then. If you have money to give at my PayPal, the link is provided over here in the chat and in the description. I will see you next Tuesday. Peace, everyone.